there's some windows open that I can't close, right? I'm not in control of when these windows close or how they close or if they close. And sometimes I've had a challenge with rumination and stewing when I can't close a window in my brain and that window stays open, even if it's out of my control. And so Kathy had a great point that yes, it's good to process your emotions and thoughts until a certain point, and then it becomes rumination when it starts to steal your thoughts, your emotions, your emotional availability, your bandwidth, your presence to those around you and to whatever God's will is for your life, your passions, your direction, your job, your work, your ministry, whatever it is that you got to do.
Welcome to the EQ Gangster podcast, where you will learn practical tools to grow your mental and emotional health and intelligence to be the best version of yourself, both at work and at home. It is real, raw, and transformational. The journey of emotional growth isn't easy, but it's worth it. I believe in you. This episode is sponsored by Arrowhead Leadership Consulting. What are your organization's biggest pain points right now? Low EQ leaders, weak managers, toxic culture, high turnover, low engagement, leader development, lagging behind company growth, no company career path. Let us know if your organization needs leadership coaching, workshops, training, or keynotes. Visit arrowhead-leadership.com for more details. Arrowhead-leadership.com.
EQ Gangsters. If you're on YouTube, boom, there's Mamacita. We have got some fire stuff for you today. First of all, okay, we're going to be talking about at what point does processing your emotions and thoughts become rumination and ruminating and stewing over your emotions and thoughts. That's the topic. I am thankful for pine trees. I'm thankful for fires, fireplaces. I'm thankful for cool weather and cold weather. I'm thankful for bodies of water, lakes and ponds and rivers and streams. I am thankful for cold plunges. I'm thankful for family and smiles and eyes and eyebrows and noses and lips and teeth. I'm thankful for the 4 seasons. I'm thankful for pets and animals. I'm thankful for tacos. I'm thankful for homies. I'm thankful for goals and dreams and entrepreneurship. I'm thankful for learning and conflict and crisis. I'm thankful for adventure and growth. What is the line between processing your thoughts and emotions and rumination? At what point does it become rumination? Do you have thoughts ready for that? So while she's thinking, because there's, and for those of you who have listened to one of the recent episodes, we are going through a monster, multi-level, multifaceted, multi-day, week conflict situation, not between us, but just involved and impacted by others, some other, just with some other folks, and just learning all kinds of lessons. And one is, there are some lessons, there's some windows open that I can't close, right? I'm not in control of when these windows close or how they close or if they close. And sometimes I've had a challenge with rumination and stewing when I can't close a window in my brain and that window stays open, even if it's out of my control. And so Kathy had a great point that yes, it's good to process your emotions and thoughts until a certain point, and then it becomes rumination when it starts to steal your thoughts, your emotions, your emotional availability, your bandwidth, your presence to those around you and to whatever God's will is for your life, your passions, your direction, your job, your work, your ministry, whatever it is that you got to do. If you're, well, and now let me give you an example. Here's an example of ruminating, of a massive failure. One of the other biggest conflicts I've ever been involved in, and this one also directly involved me. I was when I say consumed, I'm telling you, from the time my eyes popped open until the time my eyes closed to bed, I was consumed by this other conflict for, no joke, 2 years. And maybe even bled into more, 2 or 3 or 4 years, but for sure 2 years. Because I had zero emotional intelligence at that time and phase and season of my life. So I had no awareness. I had no emotional management skills. I had no social awareness, little social awareness skills, little to no social management skills. And so it was brutal. It was brutal. This one, man, praise the Lord. And I just told my wife, like, I would give myself probably an A, maybe an A minus on how if my other conflict that I went through however many years ago was an F, a spectacular faceplant F, failure, and how I handled that conflict. This was legit, objectively an A minus. I got emotional once in all this 3-week-long conflict thing that we've been going through. That's not true. I've been a little bit emotional multiple times, but just in my own self, but not in front of other people, with other people. But then with some other people, I definitely got elevated. The good thing is, even though I went to an emotional peak, maybe an 8 or 9 emotionally, I almost immediately dropped back down to a calm emotional state, which again would have never happened years ago, pre-EQ work. So 2 years of being all consumed by conflict obviously is a very, very emotionally unhealthy way to do conflict when you're ruminating, stewing incessantly. That's unhealthy. I wasn't available for anyone, anything else during those 2 years of my life because I was consumed by that. Now, do you have some thoughts? Okay.
Yeah. So, I'm a thinker. I'm an internal processor. So I think about things a lot. I think about things so that I can know what I think about things and what I need to think about things. Whereas Noble is more an external processor. So he'll talk about things as he works through them. So what's very easy for me is it can go from mentally processing and turn into mental rumination. And I think the way that I can tell the difference is by asking this question: is this productive still? Processing should be productive. There should be something that comes out of it. There should be clarity that comes out of it. There should be maybe coming up with a plan. There should be, okay, how can I think about what I'm feeling? How can I think about the situation? How can I make progress here? How can I work through what I'm feeling? There should be something productive coming out of it, some kind of forward motion, mentally or emotionally. Whereas rumination, you're just going in circles. It's just the same thing over and over and over again, over and over and over. There's no forward motion. There's no progress. There's no productivity. Nothing productive is coming. You're just kind of staying in the same place continually. And I think that's the difference. And it's very easy to ruminate. It happens naturally. We don't even have to try, and our brains will do that, especially, like Noble said, some things can feel like they're all consuming. And so this is where, in the Bible, it says we take every thought captive. Okay, so we are told that we have the ability to take our thoughts captive. We have the ability to choose our thoughts. We have the ability to change our thoughts. We have the ability to capture them and say, no, I'm not going to think about this, or I'm not going to think this way about this, or I'm going to change this. And that's where we have to develop some self-discipline and some mental discipline to say, okay, enough. I'm ruminating. This is not healthy. It's taking my time, energy away from the things that I need to be putting it on. So it's time to put this to rest. Now, it's very hard to just stop thinking about something. And so what you do is you have to replace it with something. So now you have to say, all right, well, I need to set this aside. What can I think about next? Or what can I do to replace this time? Maybe you need to listen to a podcast. Maybe you need to listen to an audiobook, or go do something physical, or go be with somebody, right? Figure out what it needs to be for you. But it's like you have to break the cycle in your brain, because the brain will continue to loop. It will just continue doing what it's doing. You have to pull it out. It's an active thing. And so anyways, that's for me. That's kind of been the breakdown.
The other way I think that would be helpful to get out of an unproductive or unhealthy mental or emotional loop is to write down, what are your lessons learned? Here's what I learned from this thing that I'm chewing on and stewing on. Here's what I learned. And then here are my top 5 lessons that I got from this experience. And then here are 2 or 3 courses of action that I can do about this particular situation, whatever that may be, from small to big. And that way it gives your brain an actual starting, stopping. So it gives your brain a physical thing to do, to write down and capture lessons and courses of action. And it has a start point and an end point. And so, okay, now, hey, brain, now that I've captured my lessons learned, now that I've captured a few courses of action, now I'm safe, right? I'm mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically safe, because I've got my lessons, I've got a couple courses of action. And so, hey, brain, great job. Now we can move on to the next challenge, adventure, project, person, mission, purpose, so that you can show up to that next chapter fully present and powerful and purposeful, without the brain still chewing on other stuff that it may not need to, because you brought the closure there. So anyway, the difference between processing and rumination. What are your thoughts? Emotionally healthy people help heal other people emotionally.